Morning, y'all. Welcome back to another vlog. I'm about to sit down and shoot a video. It's Friday, September 21st. I'm getting set up, so we've gotten a few changes around the headquarters. It looks like shit, but you can't really tell that when the video camera's on. We've got a mic. And the reason I got a mic was because this guy named Scott reached out to me. And he's like, yo, I do video editing and video production. He's like, I love what you're doing. He's like, I've been following your brand. He's like, you should get a mic and you should let me edit your videos. I was like, shit, like how can I turn down that offer? He's like, don't worry about the money. Just send it over to me and let me do a video and you'll see what I can do and then we'll go from there. So I was like, perfect. So I got a mic. It's called like the Snowball Yeti, I think, or something. It's like 50 bucks. With the pop filter. I don't even really know what this shit does, to be honest with you. I mean, I do now because everyone left a bunch of comments in the comment section, but it looked really cool and professional. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a pop filter as well. So I got those two things. And basically I send him over the video. Right, see, obviously I do the video and I do the audio. They capture each other separately because in iMovie, that's the editing software I use, you can't sync them up together for some stupid ass reason. You can do it on like Final Cut Pro and these other editing softwares, but I don't know how to edit on those, so I should fucking learn probably this off season. I have like a 3-month period basically, which is gonna be the off season. Soon as fantasy ends, which is like mid to end December, so it's like end of December, January, February, March, and then through end of April because the NFL draft is at the end of April and that's when things start to kick back up again. So I need to like make a list of things that I need to learn how to do. Final Cut Pro is definitely one of them and a bunch of other things just like heading into next season that I could improve upon from this season. Anyways, what I'm saying is, yeah, so I send it over to him and Scott's been absolutely awesome with the editing. Like his stuff has been so good, gotten such good feedback from my audience. He works full time for like an ad agency and he does video production for them. So I'm not gonna like hire him full time. I can't pay him what they pay him, but I want to bring him on as like someone who does the majority of my edits next summer. You can't do it during the summer now because I know it takes him like 6 or 7 hours to edit a single video, which is fucking crazy because I hate video editing, but he loves doing it. And I was like, this is a perfect relationship because everything I hate, you love, and everything you love, I hate, whatever, but vice versa. None of that made any sense. Y'all get the point. What's cool about the video I'm about to make, this company reached out to me a couple months ago. They're called drafters.com. You know, I've talked about affiliates and I've talked about partnerships on my channel quite a few times, because I like giving you guys the background of how exactly, you know, people in the fantasy industry make money. And a lot of it is through advertising and a lot of it is through these partnerships and affiliates. So this company reached out to me and they're kind of like growing now and they wanted me to be an influencer for their company. And this is such a good industry, fantasy football, to have an audience because there are so many companies like that are new and like startups and just starting out and they need influencers like myself. So I'm in a good spot. The industry is like perfect for this. So drafters.com, they basically reached out to me. They offered me what I thought was a big deal, like $10,000 in stock of their company. And that got me excited, obviously. I'm like, ooh, 10,000. I see the 5-digit number and I'm like, oh, this is it, right? Like this is gonna be big. But I still work with my mentor, right? My business coach, Dan. And I don't know anything about like stocks or investing or these kind of partnerships. So I reached out to him and he's like, well, are you excited about the company? He's like, put the money aside, don't even think about the number. He's like, are you excited about the partnership? Do you think this company has a chance to explode? Now I like the company, I like what they offer, but I don't think it's unique enough, or I don't know what really separates them enough from, a company like Draft that just absolutely blew up this summer. In my eyes, I was like, I like the company and I like the guys that work there, right? I'm just not so excited about the actual product and service itself to the point where I want to partner up and, be like, I don't want to say like owned by them, but when you're in a partnership, obviously you have this relationship where you are not in debt. I don't know the right word, where like, you owe them something or like you have to put in work on their behalf. And I don't want to have to do that unless I think the partnership is going to be like an amazing growth for both sides. And I'm not sure that was the case for this one, but they were like, hey, do you want to do like a one-off video for this? For our thing, just promoting us at the beginning of one of your videos. And I was like, sure. Because throughout the season, now my videos are getting about 10,000 views per video, which is kind of crazy. But I think we just hit, let me see where we're at in terms of subscriber count. 11,951. So we're about to hit 12,000 within the next day or so. Wild. They were like, yeah, we'll pay you $500 to plug us in for like 10 minutes doing a review of our site. I was like, $500 for one 10-minute clip? Like, fuck yeah, you can count me in. Like, that's pretty good money. And it's not like I said, it's not a brand that I hate or anything. I just don't want to be in a long-term relationship unless I think that the ceiling for that partnership is, through the roof. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys because I always share the behind the scenes kind of stuff. And I think later in this video, I'm going to break down how much money I've made so far throughout the entire summer, just based off fantasy stuff.
All right, check it. We are out in my backyard, Thursday morning, doing a little bit of reading. You know, I like to do that every 6 months or so. Principles by Ray Dalio, suggestion by my business coach, Dan. Told me to read it, told me to boss the fuck up. Said this is the book that will help you do that. So I just started it. I'll let you know how it goes. But since I'm getting back into vlogging, right, I've done so much fantasy football content over the last however many months. I was thinking, like, what am I going to do when the football season's over? And obviously I'm going to put out more football content when the season wraps up and during the off season, but I really want to get into, you know, becoming a better, like, videographer and making the vlogs, like, way higher quality, I guess you could say. During the summer, obviously, for those of y'all that have been following, like, I stopped at the end of July after doing them for like 60 something straight weeks. I did a vlog every single week. And for those of y'all that are new to the channel, right, I used to vlog once a week. When I quit my full-time job, I was kind of just following the behind-the-scenes process of me starting my marketing freelance business, as well as building up my YouTube channel. And it was a big passion of mine. I love to, like, kind of follow you know, the behind the scenes and show you guys everything really that I've been going through. Whether it's business and technology, or it's actually my relationships with my friends or significant others and things like that. So welcome to the vlogs if this is your first time seeing these. You know, I take you behind the scenes of, like, everything I do, and it was a huge passion of mine. And then all of a sudden I got kind of burnt out, and I was like, I don't really have time to do this while I'm putting out 4, 5, 6 videos a week for fantasy. And now I'm getting the itch to get back into it and do the vlog thing. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to make this much higher quality. So I started to make some upgrades to the equipment I'm working with. And I think it took me so long to do this because I had always kind of operated by the principle that, you know, content is the king here, and giving out value is the key to growing anything, growing any business, and growing any platform and audience. And I had been so marked onto that as, like, my key principle, no pun intended here, that I didn't want to upgrade my lens. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on, like, mics, and I didn't want to, you know, buy a lot of fancy ass equipment, because I was like, yo, I'm gonna prove that I can build up a huge audience literally just sitting in my bedroom talking to a camera that's not that expensive, with no audio or lighting or any of that stuff. And, you know, I've got to the point where I did that, right? I'm at like 12,000 subscribers now, and I've barely invested anything into my equipment. Probably altogether maybe like $800 to $1,000 between the software I use, the camera I use, the tripod, the mic, all that stuff, which is not a lot compared to people on YouTube who I've seen invest $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 into their camera equipment. So first couple things I'm doing, investing into new camera lenses, or 1 or 2 or 3. We'll try them out and see which ones I like, because up until this point I had been kind of dumb, and I didn't realize that, you know, not dumb but naive to the point that lenses were so important for cameras, and I didn't know that. And all the camera equipment I use will be linked in the description as well for anyone that's curious, but I didn't realize how important lenses were in terms of the quality of your videos. I always thought it was more so like the camera was it, but then I realized lenses are equally, if not more expensive and more important to your actual quality of content. And what happens is, like, when I start thinking that I want a new piece of technology, like, if something gets into my head and I'm like, I want this, by the end of that week, if not the end of that day, I will have purchased something. And it's like, I go crazy on reviewing and researching what I'm gonna buy. So for the last few days, I've been reading nonstop about lenses, what they do, which ones are good, which ones would fit on my camera, and just watching, like, YouTube reviews and reading blog posts about it and stuff. And I've come down to about 4 or 5 different lenses, and I just purchased all of them via Amazon, because you can return anything basically within 30 days. So I have 5 different lenses I purchased, probably totaling around $3,000-ish. And I'm gonna end up returning probably like $2,500 worth of them. Some of them are more expensive, some of them are less expensive. I got a wide variety, so I wanna try them out here. I'm still waiting on one that should be delivered today, but I have 4 of the 5 here, and I wanna try out the new lenses. I also downloaded Adobe Premiere Pro, which is the editing software that Adobe makes, and it's like a really high quality software, and most people that are into video editing use that. So I'm gonna be teaching myself Adobe Premiere Pro over the next coming months, especially in the off season. I use iMovie, which is the free software on Apple, right? And it's just like, it was just me proving my point that you don't have to, you know, I think that holds a lot of people back from starting shit, especially when it comes to on their creative side, right? Whether it is starting a YouTube channel, starting a blog, or starting any kind of project, is like, you get held back by this idea of perfection, and you feel like all these other outside forces are gonna make whatever it is you're working on look bad or come out as an unfinished product. And like the thought of perfectionism is always going to kill whatever it is you're doing. You just have to put yourself out there, do the best that you possibly can, give as much value as you possibly can, you know, from your point of view, expressing yourself in that sense, and I promise things will come out of it. But I feel like I'm at the point where, you know, I give enough value, and that is solely my principle on making videos and making content, that it's time to up the quality production. So from here on out, the vlogs will be improving, and they will get better and better and better and cooler and more valuable to y'all in an entertainment sense of things. So I want to try on the different lenses for y'all. A lot of you guys who have no idea what different cameras are and the lenses and stuff they have, I'm going to try to break this down very easily for you, because I had no idea prior to 5 days ago what like the different lenses meant and these kind of things. So we have 4 lenses here. One of them's a Sigma, the other 3 are Sony's. Basically on the camera I have, you have to have a certain mount. It has to have a certain latch. So that means you are narrowed down to just a specific set of lenses that you can use. There is a 28mm, there is the 20mm, there's the 10 to 18mm, and then there's a 16mm. Basically what those numbers are is the distance, the minimum distance you can be away in order to focus on your subject. So focusing is really important, right? When you watch most of my videos, I use just the regular kit lens that came with the camera kit. You'll see me obviously, and it's good quality, it's good picture quality, but you'll also see the background too, right? There's nothing actually in focus. Next time you're watching a movie or next time you're watching TV, they have, I've noticed this in the last couple of days, the lenses they use must be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, because you realize the higher quality the lens is, like the more the background is faded out. Like right now, you probably see me as well as a lot of the background. Everything is in focus right now, right? It doesn't stand on any one particular person. Next time you're watching TV and you see a person talking, you'll realize how crisp the person's head or the person's face is, and you'll realize the background is a complete blur and you can't see anything. And that's what makes those things like more cinematic and more TV or movie like, you know what I mean? And I kind of want to go for that look in my quality of content. So like 10 to 18 millimeters, 10 millimeters is really low, or you could be up as low as 10 millimeters away from the camera in order for it to focus. So I bought a few different ones, and it also goes by like the aperture is something I'm kind of learning about too. So it's like f4, and the lower that number is, so if it's like f1.8 or f2, the more blurred out the background is going to be. So you can have one that has like an f4, and that's not really going to come out in too good of background blur. Ironically, this is the most expensive. So what I'm going to do now is try them on, and we're just going to like walk around and test out different things with the camera. So the first one I'm going to try out is a 10 by 18, and this is the one that is this is like if you ever watch Casey Neistat's vlogs, or if you ever watch anyone's vlogs on YouTube, they have that like really wide angle, like it's kind of like distorted and it looks kind of crazy, because like if you're holding it out to here, right, if you're holding out the tripod, it's such a wide angle that you see everything in the background. So that's what this is, and this is going to be the first one we put on the camera. So we are going to switch to that lens right now. So on the camera right now is the 10 to 18 millimeters, and you could switch it anywhere from 10 to 18. As you can see, it's super fucking wide, so it looks probably crazy. Now I will turn it to 18 millimeters. Now 18 millimeters was what you were just watching the previous clip on, and they all have different uses depending on how you want to, you know, have your videos come out, right? And I actually really like this lens. You know, they all come with pros and cons depending on the angle that you're trying to make your videos look, like the quality of content, how blurred you want the background to look, and the sizes. Like this one's an awesome lens, but it's so big and it's heavy. Like, do I really want to carry that around on my vlogs if I'm like this? No. So I want to pick this up and show you, right, like what this looks like if I'm just walking around with it. So it's not that wide right now, but let me put it at the 10 millimeters, and you'll see as it gets wider and wider. It's pretty crazy, right? And this is like, think about a Casey Neistat vlog where you're like running around and like you make it like a funny kind of like a story behind the vlog, you know what I mean? So this is what it looks like if I were to be vlogging. I probably wouldn't put it at 10 because that's really wide. Probably put it around like 12, maybe 13-ish, and see how this video footage comes out. Let's take it through the woods and see if we can. Let's put it at 10. Right? It looks like, it almost looks like a GoPro when it's this wide. This is my backyard. This little shed that we built years ago. There's always fucking deer back there. It looks kind of cool, man. I dig this. Then there's the different camera modes. I'm still working out. Like, I'm still learning what like ISO, shutter speed, aperture, and all those things are. So just bear with me. I'll take you guys for a tour of my house. Ow, just nailed my head on it. I'm just playing with the zoom. Living in a white ass, middle class neighborhood. That construction guy was just staring at me like I'm nuts. You know what? You're fucking nuts, bro. What are we at right now? Yeah, so this is, I don't know, I dig this one. I might return it only because it's so expensive, and I don't know if I really need this one. This one, like I said, retails for about $900. You can get it on eBay for probably like $600 or something like that. If you win a bid, maybe a used one for like $500. But let me know what you think about this one. And I'm gonna throw on the 20mm right now. And this is what they call a prime lens. And a prime lens, as far as I know, is one that only stays at one length. So this will only stay at 20mm. You can't move it at all, but that usually means that the aperture is better. So this is an f2.8, whereas the last one you were at was an f4.0. So when you have a lower aperture, like 2.8 versus 4.0, again, that means that the background is going to be more blurred. It's going to be more auto-focused on whatever the subject of the video is. Like right now, I'm not sure if you're focused on me or these. It should be focused on me. It also means it's better in low light situations. So if it's a little bit darker, we don't have enough natural light, it'll perform better and you'll be able to see the picture more clearly. So again, we'll kind of take this out. This is the 20mm. And I'm a big fan of this one. This one I think I'm gonna keep. It wasn't too expensive. It was only like $260, I think. From what I know, it does a good job on continuously autofocusing. If I move this closer, it should like focus only on my face and kind of blur out the background of everything. So we'll take it by the woods again. You see how blurred out that background is? I'm gonna get some action if there's fucking animals or something around here. Me and my friends carved our initials into this tree like when I was probably 9 years old. So this is the 20mm prime, so it has to stay at this length. I also got the 28mm, which I thought was going to be the best for vlogging. However, that one's like really close to my face. I'll show you that in a second. But as you can see from the last couple clips, so you can make some really cinematic looking type clips, and I plan to do so once I get better at Premiere Pro and things like that. The next one we will do will be the 28mm, and this is going to be much more close up on my face. So hope y'all enjoy my beard. Told y'all. So as you can see, this is not zoomed in or anything because you can't change the length on this video thing. This gives it an awesome cinematic view. However, I don't think I'm going to use it enough for my vlogs and stuff for me to actually think it's worth spending the money on, because like I'm looking for one or two lenses that one can give you that cinematic view that I was just doing in my other with the last lens, but at the same time is good for in this picture. So this is a 28mm and it's probably really close to my face, which is what I don't want, because then y'all could see that my beard is all patchy and be like, whoa. When I start getting insecure, as you could see, autofocus is awesome on my face and on, you know, whatever it is that it focuses on. The background gets super blurry, which is that cinematic look. And this is probably a better lens for an actual videographer, and I'll show you like what I mean, because the autofocus on this is just like incredible. Like, look how awesome that looks. I'm not good at editing videos, but I could make this look great. It automatically picks up whatever the new focus of the video should be as you're like moving through different environments and as you're looking at different things. Look how clear the tree is and the background is completely blurry. That is the gist of the 28mm, and again, it's pretty awesome. However, I need something that is good for this style of video, as well as like cinematic, as well as, you know, just putting it down somewhere and talking into it. I just think it's like too close for that. And the last and final lens we are going to do, I still have one more, like I said, coming in the mail, but this is the Sigma. It's not a Sony lens, it's the Sigma 16mm. So this was 28mm, 2.0 aperture. The one before that, which I like the most, was the 20mm at 2.8 aperture. And again, the lower the aperture is, the more blurry the background is, as well as the better it performs in low light. So this is 16mm, so this is the closest millimeter one that I've had of the last three, and it's a 1.4 aperture, which means the background blur should be fantastic, as well as really good in low light. The only problem is it's really big and it's really heavy, so it's kind of annoying to carry around if you're vlogging and it's just like obnoxious looking. So we'll try it on right now. Took my sweatshirt off, it's hot as a mother frig out here. This is the 16mm. The sun's getting pretty bright, so I'm not sure how the lighting is working out over there. But again, we'll do the same thing. We'll just take you around for a little bit of a test spin. And this one was so heavy, it almost knocked my tripod over. I'm ordering a new tripod that's supposedly really good. So this is 16mm, 1.4 aperture. So it should be really good right now in like low light. I don't really know much about camera settings, like as you're actually doing the videography, like in terms of putting it on manual and then working with the ISO, shutter speed, and those things. So I put it on intelligent auto or superior auto, which is one of the settings on Sony where it just does everything for you. But for the most part, that probably makes it look worse, but it'll work for me. This should be a little farther back, but the aperture is low, so it should look like a clearer autofocus of me, as well as a a worse background, or a better background blur, I should say. But this is my house. This is actually the outside of everything. This is a deck. We used to throw some good parties out here, and now it's just like crumbling away. You might be able to see over there, there's like holes in the deck throughout. We used to have like a fire pit, set up a pong table over there. Things were, as youngsters like to say, lit. But I hope this footage comes out good. We'll do a little slow-mo testing. Yeah, this looks pretty gnarly. So as you could see, the type of, videos I want to start putting out are going to be much higher quality, and that starts with the lens. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. There is one more lens coming. It's the 18-105, which I heard is the best lens for doing videos with the Sony. I use a Sony a6000 camera. I heard that's the best lens for video, so it's 18-105. So it goes all the way down to 18, which is what I normally shoot my fantasy football, just like sitting down at the desk. Videos at 18, that's the closest one, all the way to 105. So you can go all the way to 105 millimeters and still be in focus. So that's like when you could zoom all the way in on something. But again, I think it's like the size of this lens, so I don't know if I want a lens that's that big. And my arm's already getting tired from holding this thing, so that's a problem, you know what I mean? It's cool, like it's a nice lens, but I don't know if I want to invest the money into something like that. And that lens is probably like $600. So I am leaving for Denver on Wednesday, so I might not return all of them yet. I might bring like 3 or 4 of them and get some good like nature cinematic things and test them out in that sense, and then kind of choose from there. But I'm almost definitely returning the 28 millimeter, which was the really close one, and I'm probably returning this one just because it's too big. All right, homies, that's gonna wrap up this week's vlog. Next week I will break down. Next week I'll be in Denver, so I will include that. I will break down how much money I've made from fantasy football, between the draft guide, between YouTube, between all this stuff. But it's Friday. I uploaded my video for tomorrow already, so I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna edit this vlog, put it up for tomorrow as well. Got some videos rendering. Just got me a sandwich from Jersey and Mike's. I'm gonna take some ridiculous video footage of it, because I like to do that with the new lens. Yeah, boy. Hey. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up. If you enjoyed, as always, leave that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see y'all for live stream tomorrow and next week's vlog. So